Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. We are still in Solution 9, wandering around with Sphene. We just finished a task to usher, a delivery task, bringing people the mementos of their deceased, despite them not being able to remember, but yeah, let's see how we continue. A jewel shattered. I believe it takes care of the deliveries. Thank you for taking charge this way. From what I've seen and heard, tis plain the people held their queen in high regard. The simulant has exploited their love and admiration to win over so very many. Come, let us report to Malachite. She should be back at the north of the recreation zone. Those we spoke with all harbored anxiety toward death. Tis hardly an unnatural sentiment to have, and yet... Malachite seems to be doing better. Done with the deliveries? We've just gotten back ourselves. Thank you for your assistance. With this, every delivery I'd planned for today is accounted for. The reaction I received were mixed. While some were glad, others decided they did not want the items after all. How was your experience? Everyone accepted their items, but they all felt differently about them. One person couldn't remember the keepsake's owner, and another couldn't stop worrying about their own death. I see. It's difficult indeed to predict how people may behave when confronted with reminders of loss. Of late, I've come to believe that we are each of us the sum of the moments we've shared with our loved ones. When they passed away, we lost our memories of these people. We lost a part of ourselves. It's a thought that saddens me to no end. If our memories of the departed are no longer to be entrusted to the cloud, I wish that those already taken could be returned to us. Well, my friends, I must resume my formal duties. My thanks again for your aid. Malachite speaks true. Our memories are what define us. They form the path we walk to be where we are. My endless self, I expect, was much alike to me in the beginning. But I cannot become like her no more than she could become like me. For once our paths diverged, so too did our lives and experiences. That's true. Even if we start from the same place, we all have different journeys. At some point, things like our goals and our ways of thinking are bound to change. The endless Sphene was one possibility. A version of myself who made choices I want to believe I never would. I'm beginning to come to terms with the fact I did, though. Is that... the simulant? She was looking straight at us. If I didn't know better, I'd say she wanted us to follow her. I have a bad feeling about this, but we might not have another chance to figure out what she's up to. We're going after her, right? It was my first time seeing the simulant. While she was smiling, something about her scared me. There's a strange feeling pursuing one spitting image. Where does she want us to go, I wonder? The simulant headed into the street over there. The neon Stein is that way. Let's hurry. I don't like this. Did we lose her? What is she up to?
Not here. Let's press on, if only a little further. Huh?
Hey, are you all right?
So she didn't die. Vexing, but expected.
That was about the strongest bolt we can produce within Everkeep. What now?
We obtain more precise measurements. Narrow the range of variables to avoid unnecessary trial and error. That is the most expeditious course of action.
I know that voice. You there! Yes, you! We have important business with you. We left something in your keeping. The key to interdimensional fusion. You will kindly return it to us, yes?
No. You asked me after you tried to kill me?
Now that you mention it, the other way around may have been more appropriate. If I had the key, I wouldn't need to be cruel and turn away so many people. Far more than 5,000 could become endless and know eternal happiness.
What? You mean to steal ether from other worlds again?
All is for the sake of his experiments. 'Twas for that reason, you know, that the previous me created the Endless. I pity her. She was forced to attempt the impossible, to turn every soul who dies into an Endless, even though there's no end to them. Admittedly, that was part of the plan. Her desperation would drive her to claim the key and use it. And sure enough, she did just that. I know you had a soft spot for her, Lamachi. So for what it's worth, I'm truly sorry.
You don't sound convincing?
Alas, we are naught more than pawns, pieces in his grand design.
Don't you dare make light of her love for her people. Don't you dare!
Strike me down if you wish. I shall be made anew. And I doubt many would look kindly upon the vow of resolve of Tuliolol if she attacked a neighboring queen, and not for the first time. Would you be willing to accept the repercussions?
Damn you!
What is the objective of these experiments?
You're speaking to me. Our goal is to usher in the next phase of mankind's evolution. Since time immemorial, life has used death to facilitate adaptation in an ever-changing environment. The old and infirm are weeded out, allowing the species to thrive. Generational succession. This has been our survival strategy. Yet, this strategy has long since reached its practical limit. It is outdated. It relies on progeny, which gives rise to unchecked population growth. Resources become scarce, invariably leading to conflict. All the while, death is ever present and robs our species of untold potential. Where man now stands in his evolution, bodies of flesh no longer make sense. What we must strive for next is carefully managed, eternal preservation.
Calyx! You're Calyx, aren't you?
You know him?
The young genius who had mastered electrope technology. He founded the scientific collective known as Preservation and devoted himself to developing a cure for the paralysis which plagued our people. Calyx! You always had your gaze set upon the future, and I know you do now. But I beg you, do not deceive the people of Alexandria. Do not manipulate them with this imitation forged from my memories. Well, how rude. Yet, whatever you may say, I'm the one whom the people regard as queen.
No, they regard your predecessor as queen. And they have forgotten that you are not her.
You may have worn the crown for a few years, but now you are no one. Just a frail, fleshy version of me that could die at any moment. The kingdom has no use for such as you.
Our demand is simple. Surrender the key. Refusal will necessitate consequences.
Doom, doom, doom. What a cruel thing to say to Sphene. Are you alright, Desiree? Forgive me, I was once able to use healing spells, but my long slumber appears to have sapped my magical reserves. It's frustrating to be so powerless, but perhaps I must accept my newfound limitations. Alexandria has no need for Queen Sphene. It's a queen of reason, my endless counterpart that they love. And although it is a hard truth to accept, it is nevertheless the truth. I must find a new way to serve. You're not alone, and together we can get through anything. Well said. And it just so happens there's something that only you can do right at this moment. Let's start with Calyx. What can you tell us about him? He was a prodigy who specialized in the field of electrobe and made his mark during the Storm Surge. Yet even as he basked in the admiration of his peers, he struggled with an illness he had from birth, which left him with precious little time to live. For him to be still here 4 centuries on, I think it's safe to assume that he too has become an Endless. I see. While we're somewhat familiar with preservation, I never imagined we crossed paths with one of them like this. You know about preservation? We do. We're supposed to have created Everkeep's core system as well as the Endless Sphene. Did they? Oh, while I was slumbering. The members of Oblivion have spent a lot of time investigating preservation. We should head to the back room and tell them what happened. They've given me others a summary, but you can wait on details if you need some rest. Are you feeling alright? To think that Kral's parents were once members of preservation. We heard about the ambush. You seem to have weathered it well, but try to avoid straining yourself, do you hear me? The sign might yield some clues.
We've heard what happened. So, preservation has revealed itself at last.
And using the key, they mean to turn even more people into Endless. It seems safe to assume that they too intend to steal ether from the other reflections. But unlike the previous Sphene, they have no intention of saving everyone. Calyx, of all people, would know precisely how much ether is required to sustain an Endless. Thus, he is able to set a realistic limit to their creation, without being swayed by emotion.
Carefully managed eternal preservation. Whether or not this can be considered an evolution, 'tis plain that man's very existence would be forever changed.
Say, if this Calyx is as brilliant a scientist as everyone says, could he have been the one who erased everyone's memories of Endless Sphene's death?
That is a possibility, though I cannot speak to his motives. Though Calyx has outright stated his ultimate goal, how his actions will further this agenda remains unclear. That said, we have seen how anxiety towards death continues to spread amongst Alexandrians. Perhaps the simulant stokes this fear to entice them to become endless. Everyone is afraid of death. We try to put it out of our minds, and I do not blame the people for feeling as they do. Nonetheless, I wish to stop the simulant. I wish to do what I can for those who believe in their queen. Although I wear no crown, were I to forsake the people, then I would truly have no place here.
I don't know if this will help in that endeavor, but I've found something interesting. When I analyzed the sign that Calyx appeared on, I was able to determine the source of transmission. I traced it back to a terminal used only by preservation, located in the Foundation sector.
Foundation sector? That came up in my mother's records, didn't it? It's where the old castle was hidden.
Everkeep was built atop the castle of the former kingdom. Access to the immediate area, the Foundation sector, is highly restricted, with map data accordingly classified.
The old castle is inside this tower.
It's an ideal place for preservation to conceal the terminal, I must say. Having existed since the storm surge, they would be familiar with the castle's layout.
But I wonder, would someone so versed in electrope, such as Calyx, be so careless as to leave a trail?
Oh, I expect he intended for us to find the terminal.
It may be a trap, but it's our only lead. What do you think, my friend?
If we have a lead, as we follow it.
Agreed. And besides, you owe him for that bolt of lightning.
If you're set on this course of action, I'll work on getting you access to the Foundation sector. Sit tight for now.
Please, let me come with you. I may not possess any special skills, but I know the castle better than any. So please.
All right. If that's what you want, then we go together. The rest of us will take point and secure the way, and we'll count on you to guide us in the castle.
In the world of Sphene's memories, the town was already submerged. Given the dire circumstances, I expect the people considered stripping the castle for materials to rebuild. For the structure to endure even now, it speaks to its importance to the Alexandrians, as well as their resilience. Calyx determines how many will become endless, but leaves the choice of who in the hands of the people. Is this his idea of fairness, or does he simply not care? Perhaps he considers all to be worthy of salvation? Oh, but it's too early for such speculation. I'm working on securing a route to the Foundation sector. Please sit tight for a while. At last we have a plan. Let's make it count. According to the records from Yarawata, my mother was investigating organics for her own research into souls. There was map data for organics in the records, and that's how we learned about the castle and Foundation sector. Thank you for allowing me to accompany you. It may take some time for me to find my place in this new Alexandria, but I will, slowly but surely. The castle was once my home. I shall do my utmost to be of use on this mission. Descent to the Foundation. Right, I believe I've plotted a variable route to the Foundation sector. As I don't have much information on the area, I'll come along and gather geographic data on site. You leave the navigating to me. I'll stay behind this time, but let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Oblivion is fortunate to have a capable adapter like you, Gululja, and no matter what the future holds, your knowledge of Electrope is bound to serve you well. Happy? With such dependable support here, we may embark on our mission. Come, let's head to the lift in the government sector. Be safe out there. Now I think the dungeon is coming up soon. So we probably will meet Yestola and Alize soon? From here we head to the very bottom of Everkeep. I can't help but feel nervous returning there after so long. Calyx has all but invited us, so we must assume that we are expected. Oblivion's gotten us permission to use the lift. It's nice when things can move quickly. Though it was but from a distance, I remember the site of Alexandria's castle in the virtual domain. Wonder how it looks now compared to then. Everything has been arranged for a passage to the Foundation sector. There's no direct lift to the Foundation sector, so we have to transfer to another on the way. If we take the wrong lift, we'll end up in the wrong sector, so be sure to follow our instructions. According to Tishalja's records, the tower is divided into inner and outer sections below Organics. The castle is at the heart of the inner section. So upon arriving at the Foundation sector, we need to make our way inwards. Desiree, take this communicator with you. It's been modified to track your coordinates, so I'll be guiding you as I collect data. Sounds like we're all set. Let's get going. The Underkeep. I'll be a guide for the descent to the Foundation sector, after which Shale will take over. Please take care not to lose a communicator. We're heading into a trap, so watch your step. I shall follow close behind with Shale. It would be nice if this foray was uneventful, but that would be a naive hope. Better to expect the worst. Though we are taking a risk, the far greater danger would be to wait. This time, let us take a battle to Calyx. Calyx uses the people's law for Sphene to further his own schemes. We can't allow him to do so any longer. Whatever it takes, we'll find and stop him.